What's up YouTube, Capital G here. Got a very cool duel for you guys to check out. I actually did not know that this was even a thing. We got Aromas down here at the bottom, but not a just basic version of Aromas that you would think is pretty much just a trash tier deck. I've said multiple times. I think that Aromas are top 2 worst archetypes from the entire Arc V era. Maybe Digital Bugs has something to say about that, or Chemi Critters, but this is actually a version that runs a lot of Resonators. And I still think that Red Resonator is like one of the strongest cards that nobody really talks about in the game. Not just getting that double summon, but potentially getting that life point gain. And it makes sense in this deck because obviously Aromas have natural ways of gaining life points. And then if you can gain a bunch of life points using Red Resonator, it actually, you can have a little bit of synergy. And then at the top, we've got Mermill. Still, in my personal opinion, a competitive deck. This isn't a traditional version of Mermill. Obviously, you see the Quaking Mirror Force, and you're like, what the Cap G? Mermill not supposed to be playing no battle traps, but hey, I didn't make the deck. I'm just here to commentate it. Let's go ahead and roll it. I think that Aromas are up first, and yeah, he's going to open with that Red Resonator. That generally means that he's trying to do a synchro play. He goes for Brotherhood of the Fire Fist and brings a Lone Fire out of his deck, and I was like, okay, that's not a bad play. I believe he said Human Winds, and was that a strike that he said? Yeah, Human Winds is a really good card. It's basically a Rhoda, but it can potentially let you gain life points as well. You do have to pay 1,000 life points, but you can gain 500 of those life points back. And then Solemn Strike is just good at any stage of the game in Yu-Gi-Oh! You guys know that. So he's gonna go ahead and search. And I think that maybe he should have used Solemn Strike on the Abyss Pike, because he's basically just going to lose his Solemn Strike to Marksman. So it looks like he probably should have ripped the Solemn Strike. And the Mermill player is going to summon double Abystheus here, and he goes for Abyss Gyos, which means that, yeah, the Fire Fist is just going to go bye-bye. And he's left with a pretty mediocre field. Now, I think that he probably should have gotten rid of Jasmine, because he's going to basically just get a free card off of Jasmine. I don't think I ever want my opponent drawing cards. He summons Dp-Ygo. I haven't seen that since the Cosmo days, but it doesn't matter. Quaking Mirror Force is actually going to help him. He launches Dp-Ygo. I think that was probably a mistake, because had he not launched Dp-Ygo, it would have been put face down, and at least it would have been able to block an attack. But using Dp-Ygo's effect, it just didn't matter. He used it on Rosemary. It's not like Rosemary was even in attack mode, so I don't really see the benefit. And then even more questionable play, he uses evac device on the Rosemary, despite the fact that he could probably just kill it with the Abyss Gyos. So I think both players are doing some questionable plays, but it's fine, because I guess it worked out in the end. He top decks a Salvage, which gets him, I believe he's going for, that's Gund and Marksman. And Marksman, obviously, if you do Marksman direct damage, your opponent just, oh, they're in a world of hurt, because you get the summon from the what's it called, from your main deck as well. He used, was that, which one is this one? This is Angelica, to try and reduce some of the damage that he's taking. But again, once you take Marksman to the face, you're taking a lot of battle damage. A lot of people get Dragoons, but here's where the comeback happens, or the attempted comeback, right? He summons Red Resonator, which I assume his opponent just didn't want to deal with, so he's going to activate the Abyss Gyos to try and negate the effect. He is going to search with Human Winds, but you guys are definitely eyeing that Soul Charge, right? And he's going to pay 2,000 life points. Now, again, in this deck where you can gain life points, this is pretty big. He gets double Lone Fire Blossom, trades one in for Spore, then trades one in for another copy of Rosemary, and this is where he starts gaining those life points back. So even though he was at, I think, 400 life points, Red Rising Dragon is going to bring back Red Resonator. And this is the cool part, he actually uses Red Resonator to target the Abyss Gyos, and that gets him 2,800 life points. So this guy was at like 400 life points earlier in his turn. Now he's at 5,500. By the way, this is not the end of him gaining life points. It's going to get even sicker than that. He goes for Hot Red Dragon Archfiend, Abyss, my favorite. And at this point, I think that the Mermill players, I think his goose is pretty much cooked at this point. He has 2 completely dead cards. I haven't seen 7 Swords in Mermill in quite some time. He's going to summon another Red Resonator, but he is not done with the synchroing plays. This guy is clearly trying to be the king of games, Jack Atlas. He summons Synchron Resonator, goes for Bane. I believe he's going to use Bane's effect, and he's going to get the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss back. But I think he's also going to drop Red Nova Dragon, which is just going to be stupid. Yep, he's going to get the Abyss back. He drops Red Nova Dragon, and watch this play, right? So Red Nova Dragon has already, no, I think that Bane attacked, and now the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss attack. Now, I believe that when Abyss does damage, you can summon a tuner from your graveyard. And check this out, right? So he's going to summon the Red Resonator, and he's actually going to target his own Red Nova Dragon. He gains 8,000 life points. At the same time, he is dealing 8,000 life points with the Red Nova Dragon's attack. And that is a pretty fucking awesome play. Now, obviously, this is not legal under the Vrain's rules and regulations, but for most of this duel, he was pretty much like, when he got the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, it was still considered a link format duel, and the game was pretty much over at that point. Also ignore the fact that I guess they're playing under OCG ban list. He's running Monster Reborn and Harpy's Feather Duster. It's not like he really needed those cards to win the duel. So I don't know what type of weird format this was under, but I thought it was a pretty cool display. Mainly because it was Aromas, and Aromas aren't really known to do anything good other than, well, no, I was going to say other than lose, but losing is obviously not good. So hope you guys enjoyed this, and still crossing my fingers waiting for YGO Pro to update, because I have to pretty much like get rid of a lot of my my duels, because too many of them are just completely focused around the extra deck. I uploaded this one because I thought it was a very good demonstration of this deck, and because the duel was kind of in hand before he started swagging all over him and going for the massive synchro board. But I'm hoping that comes soon. I might experiment with YGO Pro 2, not 100% sure about that. I saw Asian Eyes did a video about that, so I might check that out because I know that they have links on there. Anyways, you guys let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already.